Johnny and Steve.
Hey guys, it's Johnny and welcome to episode 82 of the Travel Like a Boss podcast. I'm here today with David Dang Vu. He is the creator of a course called How I Made $100,000 Dropshipping on eBay with no inventory. So welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Johnny, for having me, man. I really feel honored being on your show and been a big fan of you on Facebook and kind of seen a lot of your stuff and your work. So definitely kudos to you and everything and all your success as well.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. So the reason why I wanted to have you on the show today is I've been dropshipping and running my own stores now for about 2 years. And every time people ask me, is it viable to dropship on eBay? I always say, yes and no. Like I sell some stuff on eBay and I made money from eBay, but it's never been like my primary business model. And I've always kind of just assumed that it didn't really work that well, for many reasons. And we can kind of go into some of those. But on your Facebook page, like even on your personal Facebook page, I've seen so many people post positive reviews saying, just like thanking you for your course and that it actually worked. And at first I was like, okay, maybe just, one or two people, but it just kept happening. And the more I looked into it, I was like, you know what? And I did some research and I found like literally 170 people gave you a 5-star review, and this is probably the most highly reviewed course out there. So that's why I wanted to have you on the show.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much. It's been a really fun and overwhelming experience for me. I went into the notion launching this course and being successful early on, but just the response that I've been getting back just has been blowing my mind. So definitely on point with what you're saying too.
Well, you definitely look like you put a ton of effort into it, and you seem like you genuinely care about your students and want them to do well. So that's another reason why I wanted to have you on. You seem like a very genuine guy that actually cares.
I do, and let me kind of take you a few steps back real quick, and how this course just kind of was born. My experience with dropshipping, I've actually been dropshipping products and had experience doing it for 6 years now. The funny story, when I first started out 6 years back, it was the traditional dropshipping model, kind of what you're familiar with. Launching a website, finding a niche market, and then negotiating contracts on the back end with manufacturers or distributors for those products, right? And then, then it's all SEO work, driving traffic to your website, and then converting those into sales, right? But the funny story is when I started doing it, it was a buddy of mine that had a website, and they were selling T-shirts, just blank shirts, okay? And he told me to basically go work with him and partner up with him, and then kind of shared with me the business model. And I didn't even know it was called drop shipping at all, and basically we were doing the SEO work and we were driving traffic, and then long story short, ended up taking that company to a few $1 million a year, and we were selling a lot of stuff, and it was fascinating because you go to his store, his office, and there wasn't one single T-shirt there, but everything made it feel like we had our own T-shirts and our own inventory on our website, but on the back end we just drop ship everything, So I had experience doing that, ran with that for 2 years. And just had a ton of knowledge, a ton of experience with that. And then left that, walked away, started working on a couple other business projects, and just kind of had that on my mind in the back end. And here's what happened. Interesting story. I had someone that I didn't even know send me a random email, and I usually never open these emails up. Okay, but something intrigued me, and it was the title or something like that, and I clicked on it. And it was a video of a gentleman. And it was a quick 5-10 minute video where he was explaining how he was making millions and millions of dollars in the last 10 years drop shipping through e-commerce websites like Amazon and eBay. And what he was doing was a lot more simple. He was basically just buying products on Amazon and then selling them on eBay. And that was it. That was the extent of the video. And at the end of the whole entire presentation, wanted you to enroll in his company. It was an MLM direct sales company. I never signed up for it because I had experience already doing drop shipping, right? It's just that the technique and the strategy was different. So I said to myself, you gotta be kidding me. This stupid guy can make a ton of money drop shipping from Amazon to eBay or eBay to Amazon. I think I'm gonna crush this thing, So I started an eBay account, never sold anything on eBay. Only had an old account to buy things, but never really sold anything. And then I said, all right, I'm going to try it out. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm just going to try it out. And I did a little research, went on Amazon, found some cheap sunglasses for $3. And then I turned around and went on eBay, made a listing, put it up for $10. Went to sleep. Next day, woke up, that item sold. And I said, oh my gosh, it is that easy. It is that simple. I said, holy cow. You'd think I make $7 profit, but, after eBay fees and PayPal fees, I ended up making like $3 profit. But I said, $3 profit for, a minute, 2 minutes of work. Oh my goodness. So I said, I'm going to devote a little bit more time and attention into doing this and mastering and getting really good at it. And that's what I did. I just went to work and went to town. And, that first year generated a well over 100K in profit. And interesting story with that is, it was really cool. And I had a lot of people following me at that time because, being a serial entrepreneur, I have a lot of friends and family and just a network of people following me. Tons and tons of people were interested in learning about it. And people wanted me to mentor them one-on-one, coach them. I had a guy that wanted me to fly him out to North Carolina and teach him for 5 days and pay me $5,000. But I said no to everybody because I didn't want it to be a one-on-one mentorship thing because that would take up too much of my time and attention, and prevent me from doing things that I really want to do, like travel and fish. So long story short, discovered Udemy, and that's how basically this course was born.
So first I want to kind of briefly mention, so a lot of people are thinking, why would someone buy something off of eBay for more than they would off of Amazon? Or, who even shops on eBay anymore? It's kind of like an old platform. And I actually used to think the same thing until actually just about 2 months ago, I decided to randomly start listing some of the products that I'm already an authorized dealer for that I was selling on my own e-commerce store, my Shopify store on eBay, just to kind of see what happened. And first off, also, I was surprised how active it still is, and that eBay buyers are really, really loyal to eBay. They don't. Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just like there's some people who only buy on Amazon. They will never look anywhere else. And there's some people that will only look on eBay, and it's the same thing. And what really surprised me is one of the items that we had listed, because the eBay fees were so high, we actually listed it for more on eBay than on our own website. And here's the crazy thing is we wanted people we really wanted people to come to our website to buy it because we wouldn't have to pay all the eBay fees because it was like $1,000 item. It's a high-end item. And I was thinking, okay, I'm going to have, the website on all the photos. So people, I'm going to make it very, very clear where, what store we are so they can just buy it directly from us. And even though it was more expensive on eBay and we charged shipping for it on eBay and it was free shipping and cheaper on our site, we still sold 5 units on eBay, and that was $5,000 for the product. So
absolutely.
So and I think that was kind of when I was thinking, I was like, you know what, I can see this working as well. But you mentioned that you started selling it for, you started listing cheap products, the $3 sunglasses for $10. Are you still?
Yeah, that was just. That was just to test just to kind of test to see if it worked.
Okay.
And so interesting thing is, what kind of products do I sell? How much? What's the price range?
Yeah.
Now we typically go for the $19 to $300 products because those tend to make enough margins and it's kind of less work because you don't get a lot of questions. Because if you start selling anything more than $300, you're going to get a lot of questions, and that takes maintenance and responding back and forth and whatnot. So typically $19 and $300 products is what we sell. But we have products in my personal store all the way up to $4,000 or $5,000. It's nice to sell one of those a month. Make a nice profit. But it's kind of piggyback on what you're saying. Like it's crazy to see. Why would people shop on eBay and why would people not shop on Amazon? Or we even drop ship products from retail websites. Like Walmart and Home Depot and Lowe's and whatnot. But why would people go to eBay and pay more? See, that's the interesting thing because everyone has that what I call bargain shopper mentality inside of them, right? Where they just want to pay the least expensive price for that product because it's going to save them money, right, Johnny?
Yeah.
But if you take a look at your spending habits, there's what's called impulse buying habits, right? And there's what's called, perception of value as well. I mean, you take a look at the t-shirt you're wearing or the pants that you're wearing right now, right? And if you can recall how much you paid for that t-shirt or those pants, okay? I bet you probably didn't pay the rock bottom price for those t-shirts or that pants that you're wearing or that bracelet or that necklace or those sunglasses. You probably didn't, right? Mm-hmm. What happened was you probably shopped around a little bit, and then and you had a perceived value for that product. Then when you saw that, oh, you know, those sunglasses are $20, oh, that's a good deal. I'll pay for it. And you paid $20 for those sunglasses, and you were willing to pay for it because of that perceived value and that impulse buy, right? But if you would have just kept shopping around a little bit more, you probably would have found those sunglasses for $15 or maybe $10 or even $5. But you bought it for $20, and you're willing and happy to pay for it for $20. So, you know, understanding those buying habits, what I target on eBay is a different crowd. I go after I call them premium shoppers, and we also target international buyers because they don't have access to a lot of the products here in the U.S. if that makes sense. And they, you know, through eBay, there's a really cool program called the Global Shipping Program, where it's essentially almost like Amazon, an FBA program. You're familiar with that, but you basically ship your items to eBay, and then eBay handles the rest and reships it to the customer for you. Okay. At no additional fee, all around the world. So they you know, say you're selling something from the U.S. and you got a customer from Germany that wants to buy that product. You just ship it to eBay here in the U.S. So it's still domestic shipping. So the cost is the same. And if you're buying it from a website that provides free shipping, it's free for you. You ship it to their headquarters, and then eBay recharges the customers all the customs, import duties, taxes, and all that stuff, and then sends it over to the customer. You don't have to worry about that extra charge or that transaction. You just make that profit that you normally would have if you sold it to someone in California or New York. You know, so it's a really, really awesome program. So we capitalize on that too, big time.
I like that. So you had already mentioned that some of the price points you like to selling at is between $19 to $300. So because of the shipping, especially if you're going to be shipping, you know, to eBay and have them ship again, do you also try to sell items at way less than a certain amount of weight or certain dimensions?
No, we keep everything. There's really no weight or dimension restrictions when we're adding products to our store. What I teach in my course, and it's funny because I get so many people that ask me, so David, exactly what are you selling? Give me this magical list of products or ideas and blah, 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 right? And I can't answer that question because if I gave someone a magical list, everyone is going to follow that magical list, right? And what's going to happen is they're not going to sell anything because it's too competitive now because everyone's following it, and then they're going to say this course doesn't work. So instead, I teach everyone exactly what I do. And what I do is I list everything and anything. It doesn't matter if it's a giant tool chest that weighs 200-300 pounds. It doesn't matter if it's a small flashlight that weighs nothing. You know, I list everything. I kind of take the, if you put it this way, Johnny, would you rather have a liquor store kind of business where you're selling, you know, just some small niche products, or would you rather have a Walmart kind of store, right? Because if you think about Walmart, they sell products from 25 cents to $10,000. You know, they understand the numbers game. They understand making up in volume. And that's how you make, in my opinion, more money is in volume of sales, right? So that's my 2 cents on that.
Okay, I like it. So like kind of just from the sounds of it so far, like the other reason why I wanted to have you on the call is even though I'm a member of Anton's course, and I promote it pretty heavily because it's worked for me, and I've met a lot of people who it's worked for. I also feel like your course can be a great supplementary course for people already in it, or also maybe for people who aren't quite ready to create their own store on Shopify and they just want to, you know, start in with something like eBay where the platform is already on there. So actually, you know, if anyone wants to check out the course kind of while they're listening to this, just to follow along, if you go to episode 82 at the travellikeabosspodcast.com, I'll have a link to it in the show notes, and then you can see his course there. But, you know, basically, like how from when someone first gets started, like, so out of all the students that you have enrolled already, around like what's the typical time period for them to start making their first sale?
It's that's really interesting because I get to see everything, and now after I launched this course, it's a little bit over 4 months. I've kind of seen, all the case studies and people in different countries and just all the student success stories. So I've been overseeing everything and trying to document as much as I can on my Facebook wall and inside the course itself. So it's been a lot of fun, but students will report their first sale or their first profit within 24 hours. But I want to be realistic. Okay, this is a business, and there is a learning curve, especially if you've never done anything like this before. So it can take. I would say anyone brand new. For me, because I already kind of knew what I was doing. It took me the next day. I made a $3 profit. But I've seen other students literally make their first sale the same as me within a day, and some students kind of take a little bit longer, 2 weeks, even 3 weeks. But my whole thing I teach is don't get discouraged at your results. It's not. People have to have the right expectations and the right mentality going in. You don't want to think that this is a race. It's more like a marathon. As long as you finish, that's all that matters, right? So, that anywhere from a day to a few weeks, and you should be able to make your first sale. And I provide that kind of, coaching inside the course as well. People have access to me. They can email me. So I even encourage the students, hey, after you're done with the course, go through the course again. Make sure you didn't miss anything, because the human brain can only retain about 10 to 20% of the information it sees or hears the first time. So if you only go through the course once, you're missing 80 to 90% of the information. So definitely go through the course again and again and again and really learn this stuff. And if you have a question, and I even ask the students, after you start listing some of the products in your store, send me a link to your item, to your store. I'll personally give you personal critique and tell you what you can improve on to make sure that you're actually learning the concepts I'm teaching. So that's all inside the course as well. I do provide that guidance, and just like you mentioned before, I really have the student success in mind at the end of the day. Like, I really want people to win, because that's what it's all about. It's all about helping other people.
I like it. So I'm taking a look at just the curriculum right now, and it looks like it's broken down into sections. Let's see, there's nine sections here, and from what I can see, pretty much in the first day or two, they can go through the first couple sections. The first one would just be like a whole overview of exactly what you're going to be doing and kind of the what it is. And then right in section 2, that you already have them setting up an eBay account. So you already have them picking their username and setting up PayPal and all this stuff. And then in the very next section, you have them start listing products already. And so I can see people starting to list products literally within the first day. And I think the biggest difference between selling on eBay and your system and kind of the more traditional dropshipping method, like Anton teaches, is because like the way I set up my store, I have to first build a demo store, and then I have to go get approved by suppliers, go through that whole process, then set up my store, and then I can start selling. Which is why, on average, for me myself, for all my stores, but also for the people I've met who have successful stores, on average, it takes about 2 months to start making sales.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, and you're talking to someone here and interviewing someone that's been in the best of both worlds. And it's funny because it might sound like I have a bias spin because I'm teaching a course on, I call this the dropshipping model. Okay, that's I'm trying to coin that phrase here on the internet. Dropshipping is what we're doing. But if you ask me which one is better or which one makes more money, I'm going to tell you the honest answer. In my opinion, praising Anton, I love what he's doing. I love his course. I wish I would have done that, a couple years back, and a fan of that and what he's doing as well. But with that model, typically you can, a few years down the line, you can make a lot more money. Just like I mentioned, with our old business, $4 million a year is what they were generating, and my friend still owns that website and still runs it, so they're killing it right now. So typically you can make a lot more money and way bigger margins doing that model. But the downside to that model you just mentioned is it takes a lot more time and a lot more work, right, to get everything set up. And either you're technically savvy and you can do all the SEO stuff and setting up the website and all that stuff. If you're not, you can outsource all of that, obviously. But what I like about the e-dropshipping model, and I'm not saying it's better, I think it's really awesome for the average person trying to make their first profits online, is you can set up so quickly. because it's already there. Platform's already there. Everything's set. You just literally just copy and paste, and that's why I teach people. You just copy a listing on Amazon, copy a listing on Walmart. Just copy it and paste it on your store. And there's certain techniques that I teach inside the course that helps you boost your rank for search visibility, like optimization and things like that. That's really the ticket there. That really helps you convert those sales. And it allows someone to start really quickly and make their first profit right away. And that's what people like, whether it's $1 or $5 or $50, it doesn't matter. As long as they see light at the end of the tunnel, they're going to be happy, and they're going to continue my favorite feeling is seeing a student make their first sale. Because once they make their first sale, game over, Johnny, game over. Because what are they going to do? They're going to go out there and add more products to the store to get even more sales. And within a week, a month, 2 months, they're going to be very, very, very successful, because they're having many wins along the way before they get to their big win. So.
I 100% agree with that, because literally every single person I've met who's done Anton's course, who's made it to that first sale, has made 100 more sales after that, 1,000 more sales after that. But there's so many people who give up before that first sale, either whether because they get busy, things happen in their life, or they, for whatever reason, they feel like they can't do it, or they give up for whatever reason. So I think that the biggest benefit of your system with e-dropshipping is how quickly they can make that first sale, and they can they can just tell themselves, okay, this works, let me put in more effort.
Yep, absolutely. And I agree, because people tend to see, even myself, and if you even take a look at anything you've ever done, people tend to have, and you can have the strongest mindset in the world, and the strongest willpower in the world, but people tend usually have a 30-day window when they're trying something new, and if they don't see any results, they're gonna give up. Whether it's a diet or working out or trying to make money in a business venture or project, 30 days is all they have. So my goal is to help that student it doesn't matter if it's $1, $5, or $50, make that first sale and that first profit within their first 30-day window, because after that, they see it, they get it, they understand how to do it, and they can replicate that over and over and over. And that's it. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, so the more I actually didn't know too much about your actual system, and that's why I wanted to have you on, just kind of pick your brain. And the more I I talk to you, the more I realize it's almost, both systems 100% work. But they both are so different. So for some examples, so with Anton's course, he teaches you to pick a niche and focus on it and just sell those specific items. So become that specialty liquor store. And with your system, you're saying become Walmart. Sell everything under the sun. And I think
creating an online mall. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely see that. And I think there's definitely pros and cons to both, and it's I don't know, it's one of those things where it's the more I learn about making money, the more revenue streams that I have, the more people I meet who make a full-time living online, the more I realize pretty much everything out there works. You just have to pick something, understand it correctly, know the steps, and just follow through with it. There's so many things that are contradictory in the world, just like diets. Some people say eat more, some people say eat less. Some people say don't eat breakfast, or you have to eat breakfast. And it's the same thing with business. It's, both of them work in certain scenarios, but you have to follow one system and just go for it.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. It really comes down to, you hear that saying, knowledge is power. That's probably the most false statement ever created by mankind. Knowledge is absolutely not power, because we all, just like you said, with health and fitness, we all know how to eat right? We all know how to get fit. We all know this stuff, but why don't we do it, right? So knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. You gotta apply what you're learning and really just execute. That's the key, in my opinion, is to success in everything. Is you got to have that execution aspect of it. You just got to plain get it done, master it, and just do it. And that's pretty much it to in anything that you do.
I can definitely see that. So a couple questions. What about international members? So let's say someone is from the UK or from Australia. Can they still do this, or how would they do it?
Absolutely. The interesting thing is, I didn't realize how much of a big international market Udemy has. Because when I launched the course, I just promoted it on my, within my personal network. I had a list of people that I shared the course with, and we had a lot of enrollments right away. And then everything just went organic. And then after that first 30 days, it was just mainly 90% Udemy enrollment. So it's just other students in their database. And right now we have over 80, not 80, but we have over, not 80 students, sorry, 80 countries. So we have students from 80 different countries enrolled in my course already. And I'm just shocked. It's so cool. I have students from Egypt, India, UK, Australia. I mean, all over the world. So now I really get to see like how this course is working, because the steps that I teach when you take the course and you're going through it, the teaching style that I have is it's a screencast. So, and I'm talking while I'm showing you what I'm doing. So it's like you're literally watching over my shoulder, or you're sitting next to me while I'm showing you what I'm doing. And the course, the style is I teach you everything, the basics all the way to advanced techniques. And starting out, this is how you open up an eBay account. This is how you open up a PayPal account. This is how you start your first listing. This is how you optimize, like step by step by step. And I show you all of that while I'm doing it, so you get to see it, not live, but it was recorded obviously, but basically just like you're sitting next to me. And the thing with that is I'm from California, so in the United States here. So all the experiences I share are USA based, okay? Because I'm not from the UK, I'm not from Thailand, I'm not doing it over there, so it's a little bit different. But it's cool because I've seen a lot of students from the UK and Australia and all over the world become successful, because even though the course I teach is USA based and the techniques I teach are, we get our sources from Amazon and Walmart, they're all USA based, but they can basically take what I learned, what I teach, and kind of bend some of the things that I teach and apply it in their own country. And it's not hard to do. And the beauty of the course is we're creating a huge community of these I call online entrepreneurs now. So you have a question, something doesn't make sense, or you're from the UK and you're trying to get your foot wet, get your foot wet and trying to make that first sale in the UK. There's hundreds of other students that have already done it in the UK. So you can ask a question in the discussion board, I'll answer, and then you'll have dozens of students chime in from all over the world. So it's really, really cool. So can people do it from other countries? Absolutely. But just know that everything I share is USA based because that's where I'm from. But again, it's not hard at all to kind of bend some of those things that I teach, because the concepts and everything I teach in the course is the same. You just kind of, instead of buying it from, products from HomeDepot.com, if you're in Canada, you're going to buy the products from HomeDepot.ca, so it's practically the same thing, so if that makes any sense. Okay.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. So, I mean, I would say, it's very similar to Anton's course, where he's also American, so he shows everything US-based. But yeah, there are tons of people in other countries that do well, but they just have to kind of think a little bit outside the box and say, okay, well, this is a little bit different, but let me figure it out. So, that's just kind of the way it is. I mean, it takes someone to innovate these things, and ideally there'd be a David Vu in every single country or an Anton in every country, but there isn't, and and it still works, so it's fine. So I'm just curious. So I'm looking at Walmart.com right now. I know nothing about your system, but I'm taking a look, and I'm just trying to figure it out. Like, if I was someone in your course, I would be looking at, like, let's say the deal of the day, right? And I see a 16-piece kitchen food storage set that's on sale for $19. Normally it's $27. So does this mean that if I went on eBay and I saw other people were selling this for $27, I can list this and I can make that price difference?
It's funny because what I teach is, first of all, it's a sale price, right? Mm-hmm. There's a formula that I teach inside the course that you go by. And, and that formula is like the markup, basically, right? You factor in the shipping costs if there is shipping costs, and if there isn't, then that's even better. But you factor all that in, basically your source bottom price, what you're going to pay for that item, and then you mark it up a certain amount on eBay. Okay, it does not matter what you sell that product price. I mean, you can't. it's got to be realistic. You can't sell that product for $2,000 and expect it to sell, right?
Okay.
But you literally can almost list that product almost at any reasonable price, and it will sell. You can even sell that product for $70, $80, or even $90, because the key is in optimization. Because when someone's typing in a kitchen set, or they're trying to buy something on eBay, or they're searching or browsing around, it's all about search results. And you've worked on the internet, you already know, just like in Google or anything else, 80% of the sales happen in the first 20% of the results, right? 80% of the sales happen in the first top 20% of the results. So the goal is to get in that top 20%, because people always buy on the first page or in the first 5 to 10 listings anyways. They don't scroll around and jump around and go to page 2, page 4, page 10 of those search results. So I even share inside the course in one of my lectures where I was listing a product from Home Depot, and my goal was to make sure that even though there was like 10 other people selling the same thing, my goal was my product was going to be more expensive than everyone else, right? So that way I can get people, why are you selling that product for so much more? Are people really buying it? And I share with them the results of, it was like a month or 2 month case study doing this. And I sold more of that product at the highest price than any of my competitors, So it plain works. It's just, you got to really understand the optimization techniques and the search results visibility on eBay. That's basically the main key factor to success on eBay, is optimization and search visibility. So
you know what, man? Thanks so much for sharing that, because now that you explained that, I believe it 100%. Because if it was just price arbitrage, and I think price arbitrage is important to have good profit margins, but if the goal was just to find products that are cheaper on, let's say, Amazon than on eBay, and selling for that difference, it would be hard to compete, because there's going to be other people selling it as well. There's going to, pretty often the price is kind of price correct itself. But the fact that you're relying more on just, being on the first page and pretty much, optimizing or even kind of gaming the system a bit to get on top of those search results when other people aren't doing it, I can definitely see 100% that people will buy from you regardless of your prices.
Yes, absolutely, and that's basically how you crush the competition. So with that, and a little bit of price arbitrage. I mean, we're selling products 2x, 3x sometimes. It depends on the competition of those products too. Sometimes you're listing a product and no one's selling it. You're the only one selling it. Well, whatever price you put it, it's fine, And if a lot of other people, it doesn't matter. I don't even look at competition on my products. I literally just have a formula that you go by, and you just stick to that formula and you apply. I just keep things really simple, because that's what the course was designed to do, is just keep it simple, because the strategy and the technique is already simple anyways. You're literally buying products retail price, and then you're just reselling it at a certain markup, So you don't have to negotiate contracts with manufacturers on the back end and set up all that back end stuff. That's why it's so easy and quick to get up and running, because you don't have to do any of that stuff, But yeah, I teach everything just really simple. There's a formula you follow. It's just that's all it is. Just really, really plain simple. Okay. It's not. Yeah, I don't overcomplicate anything inside the course. And
I like that.
Yep.
So far, everything that we've talked about, from niche selection to product sourcing to selling on eBay and why people would buy for a higher price, all of this 100% checks out to me. I think the only downside I can possibly see right now is the amount of time it takes to list these products and then fulfill it. Yes.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not gonna, sugarcoat anything or lie. How I ripped over 100K my first year, because people go, man, that's crazy. Like, your first year doing it, like you've never done that technique before. It is crazy. But remember, I'm my background. If you follow me on Facebook, for you guys, David Ding Vu on Facebook. I have an Instagram as well, Freedom Entrepreneur. Sorry for those plugs, Johnny. I just gotta get it in there. No. Freedom Entrepreneur on Instagram. But the reason why I was able to rip over 100K profits a year is this isn't my first rodeo. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have, a dozen other businesses and things going on, and I'm always working on other things. I believe in multiple streams of income is the best way to go all day long. And the reason why I was able to rip over 100K my first year, okay, is yes, I dedicated a lot of time and a lot of effort. Because when I made that first $3 profit off those sunglasses, what do you think I did right away? I went back that same day and I was like, all right, I'm gonna list black sunglasses, red, green, blue, purple. I mean, different styles. I mean, everything. I had basically a store of sunglasses for my first 30 days, right? And then I just started adding. I would spend. I'm not even joking with you, Johnny. I would spend, and I don't want to scare a lot of people. I just want to come across very, very authentic here. I spend anywhere from 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day, 5, 6, sometimes even 7 days a week, for months. And it got so busy to the point where we're doing, 20, 30 sales a day, and we're uploading tracking numbers, answering people. I had to hire my girlfriend as an employee. I literally paid her a salary. I said, hey, honey, I need you to work. You're going to work for me, and we're going to do this together, right? So, we did that for our first, I would say, 6-7 months. And this is a tipping point for me because I'm a big fan of Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Workweek. And I wasn't applying the 4-hour workweek, right? I was just working my ass to death, right? And we were in Jamaica for 2 weeks, and we're in the lobby in Jamaica at our resort, and we're in the lobby uploading tracking numbers. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this all wrong. Sorry, Tim, I failed you. So got back from Jamaica, and then we outsourced, hired some overseas employees and trained them and got them to work. And now it's been amazing because now I work maybe 10-20 minutes a day, basically just managing their work and make sure they're doing everything right. And I actually teach that in the course too. It's like baby steps, but I do teach you from beginning to having the end in mind, right? So you don't end up being a slave to your business. So you outsource your work. I kind of teach them the basic concepts of those ideas as well. And that way you can live an abundant lifestyle of cash flow and time freedom and do what you really want to do. So that's all there too.
I like that.
I like that. So
it definitely sounds like. I think you need to put, there's a bit of echo. You probably want to plug your headphones back in.
Oh, sorry about that.
But it definitely sounds like in the beginning it makes a lot more sense to just do it on your own, so you can learn the process. Manually upload all the products, manually fulfill the products, answer the customer questions and the tracking number. And to be honest, I mean, because I sell some products on eBay, it's kind of a pain in the ass because there's not like a PO number or anything that makes it really easy. There's no like automatic tracking updates that get sent out like Shopify does. But in the beginning, you know what? To me, it's like bootstrapping a website, bootstrapping a business. And for a lot of people starting out, they absolutely just want to start seeing some profit and start seeing it as soon as possible. So even though, I don't think this is going to be for everyone forever, especially not like, let's say, a super long-term solution. Because to be honest, most people aren't going to have the same dedication and the same drive to put in the amount of effort to make $100,000 this year. But I can 100% see anyone who, puts in just even a basic effort can definitely make a couple $100 a month, pretty easily.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I've seen hundreds and hundreds just inside the course, just people sharing. I mean, Johnny, gosh, it's been crazy. If you're on my end here, I could literally show you. Daily, I'm getting emails and for my personal friends that have my phone number, text messages, Facebook messages, just daily. Multiple messages from people all over. Hey, I made my first sale. Hey, my first month I made X amount of dollars, $500. I made $2,000. It's every day I get tons of overwhelming thank yous and just gratefulness for the course because they're seeing success and it's really, really cool. And let me take a step back. Yes, you're absolutely right. The course is not for everybody, and not everyone's going to have that crazy, drive and dedication like how I have the liberty to just work completely from home and not have a full-time job. So I was able to do that. But what I teach everyone too, and I realize we're dealing with a lot of just regular people that are not like me, not like you, and that is I teach everyone. I call it the slight edge mentality. You really just got to take baby steps, but be very consistent, just like in working out and just like in health and fitness and just like your diet. And I teach everyone, if you can dedicate just 1 hour a day to your business, you're absolutely going to crush it. 1 hour a day, because if you can get good enough where you're listing about 8 to 10 products into your store in that hour, let's say you do that 5 days a week. Let's say you did 10 listings for an hour, and you only did that 5 days a week, so you took 2 days off, right? So that means you're working 5 hours a week, and you're listing 10 items per day. So that means at the end of your first week, you'll have 50 items. At the end of your first month, you're gonna have 200 items in your store. I can pretty much, I don't really like using that word guaranteeing a lot because it's just you're over promising at this point. But I can pretty much almost guarantee 99.9% you're gonna make some sales and profit after that, right? And if you just continue doing it, that second month, guess what? You're gonna have 400 items in your store, 600, 8,000. And once you're at that, you're done. And then once you're making, a good amount of money, 2, 3, 4K, you can easily outsource that work and, kind of walk away and not dedicate as much time and just manage it with your employees. So that's why I teach mainly a lot of people in the course is like, hey, how much time do I dedicate? How do I do? I say, yeah, look, just do minimum 1 hour a day. If you can do 2, but just minimum 1 hour a day, but be so consistent with that because that's so vital for your success is the consistency. So that's what I teach inside of the course.
All right, so I don't have that many guys on here that teach other dropshipping courses just because I know there's so many things out there. And actually, even especially with dropshipping on eBay, especially if someone went on Udemy and they just search for that, don't do it because you're going to see literally 30 courses out there, and I don't know how many of them actually work. So,
right.
The reason why I wanted to have you specifically on is I have a pretty good detector of people are telling the truth or not. And when I first saw your sales video, I was like, okay, this guy seems pretty legit. He seems like a very genuine guy. You're showing, your W-9 forms. You're showing like your tax returns. I was like, and you even encourage in the video, you're like, this is my accountant. If you want to call him to verify who I am, if how much I made, go ahead and call him. And I was like, man, this guy, this guy's being very, very transparent.
Yep.
So I remember I actually added you as a friend on Facebook, and I was like, okay, let me kind of see what this guy's up to, because I was so skeptical about dropshipping on eBay, because I've heard there's so much BS out there about it, and I started following you, and I started seeing all these people posting on your wall saying thank you or these reviews, and then I'll kind of like stalk them a bit. I'll just kind of like take a look to see if it's a real profile.
That's fine. I'm glad you stalked me, Johnny.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, this is I was like, that's a real person, and I was like, okay, like what actually is going on? And that's why, even though it's been a pain in the butt to get you on this podcast, just because you've been fishing so much.
Sorry. Sorry, Johnny.
No, sorry.
My bad.
I was like, okay, you know what? This guy seems pretty legit. Let me pick his brain. Let me try to figure out what he's actually doing to make money. Like, what is he doing that's different than everyone else teaching dropshipping on eBay? And I think kind of throughout this interview, we figured it out, and I can safely say, even though I haven't personally been through the course, I can pretty safely say, because I'm pretty experienced with this stuff, that the way that you teach it, your formula, absolutely works.
Yep, absolutely, man. And just again, piggyback on what you're saying about authenticity. Because I've seen so many different things on the internet, man, and gosh, the amount of junk that's out there definitely outweighs the real good stuff. So you got to kind of clear through the smoke and really look for the raw and authentic stuff. So that's why going into creating this course, I spent that extra effort on what can I do to be more transparent, more authentic to people, and not to kind of like make them believe that this works, but just to really show, because when you're on the internet, and for all the people listening to this podcast, you have no idea who David Dang Vu is, right? That's why I spend all that extra time and effort to try to be as authentic and just show you everything, like what I'm doing. And so right from lecture 1 all the way to lecture 50, I think it's 57 now. I'm adding more lectures as I speak, so I forget how many total lectures. Everything is just authentic and raw and honest along the way, And that's why I really believe it's been resonating with a lot of people, and we've been getting tons and tons of reviews, and it's been the #1 eBay course on Udemy. I think there's about 100 courses just on eBay alone on Udemy, and my course within 4 months has outranked everyone else's course that's already been there for a couple of years. I'm not saying that to brag, but that's just the stats, and it's a real honor, it's a real blessing, and I'm very, very grateful for that. And I really believe it's just all just because I've done the deal, I've been successful, and I'm being authentic all along the way. So absolutely, that's really important for everyone to understand that.
I like that so much. So what I'm doing right now, literally as we speak, I'm going to set up an affiliate link to your course, and that way,
Sure.
kind of for a couple of reasons. So one, if someone does sign up for the course, I can get credit for it, which would be nice. But second, I want to make sure people get to your actual course and not one of the 100 other eBay courses out there that might not be, as good or might not even work. So I made it right now. Let me just test it. I think it's going to be earnestaffiliate.com/eBay. And that way, you guys can go directly to the sales page. You can see what, you can basically see what Dave is all about. Yep, and it works. So if you guys want to go on, it's going to be earnestaffiliate.com/eBay. And I'll also put it in the show notes here on episode 82. So yeah, if you guys do end up signing up, I would appreciate the credit for it. And that way I can kind of keep it honest and say, I'm not 100% supporting Anton just because that's what worked for me, and now because I'm become friends with him. But now I'm also saying, well, you know what? David seems like a very legit guy. The course has been working for so many other people. You know what? Why not promote his stuff as well? Especially because there's definitely pros and cons of each. So one of the cons that we haven't really talked about with setting up this eBay store, dropshipping with the David Vu e-dropshipping method versus Anton's normal, I guess, setting up a normal store, is you can't really sell your eBay account when you're done with it, right? I assume that's kind of tied to you, and that's kind of your baby, right?
No, actually, you can. People do set up. People do sell their eBay accounts, and you're talking about an exit strategy here.
Yeah,
being I totally understand. Yeah, you absolutely can sell your eBay account. People sell their Amazon accounts all the time. So
Okay.
you gotta build it out just like any business for a few years. Show consistent sales records, and net profits and whatnot. And it's just like any business. You can absolutely sell it. So find a buyer and you can absolutely sell it.
Oh,
So that's actually that's actually a funny story. That's actually my goal right now. I'm actually building this out. Going to be I actually even started a second and third account. So I already have those exit strategies in mind. I'm build it out for a couple of years and really ramp up the volume and provide a really good sales history and eventually sell that and do something else. So
that definitely makes sense, because what I was going to say is one of the nice things about having your store on, let's say, your own domain name and off of eBay on your own platform is you can sell it for. I mean, people have been selling the stores for the smallest amount I've heard is a couple $1,000s, but some people are selling the stores for like $50,000 and up.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is very cool.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and you can do the same. If that's what the end in mind, that's what you want to do. You can, or you can just keep your baby and just let it cash flow all day long. So, yeah, absolutely.
I like it. So some people might be thinking like, okay, well, if it's doing so well for you, if you made so much money on dropshipping on eBay last year, why would you ever sell your store? So
I'm bored.
Yep. Okay.
No, Johnny, really, I anything that I do, I get as an entrepreneur, I do get bored. For me, it's not. I've been so blessed to have this income and this lifestyle, and I'm at the point where honestly, it's not really even about the money anymore. I have enough of it and to use, and it's just amazing. So it's really not about the money at all. So selling it is just a way to exit and just take that money and invest it and do something else that's bigger and more fun. It's all a at this point in my life, everything's more of a challenge for me. I'm more challenge driven than I am money driven at the point.
Okay, that definitely makes sense. And I appreciate your honesty with this too, because I like that you came on the show and you're like, look guys, this is one method to do it. And it's not necessarily the only method or even the best method for certain things, but it works. And that I do appreciate a ton, because, now, I think, okay, so I would say here's the couple scenarios. So let's say someone is, just starting out. They're like, okay, I want some kind of online business. I want to do something. Should I get into affiliate marketing? Should I get into blogging? Should I learn programming, dropshipping, whatever it is? I still believe 100% that everyone should start with some type of dropshipping business. And the reason for that is not only because it did it work for me, but it's one of those things where it's very easy to conceive. Like if I'm selling this product, let's say I'm selling this dinette set, I know the value of it. I know other people are looking for it. I know I know what it should be worth, and I know how to sell that. It's pretty straightforward. And whether you're drop shipping it through eBay or you're starting your own store, if it's a physical product, it's something that you kind of feel like, okay, obviously someone should be buying this for X amount of money. While if it's something, a complete virtual product, even something like an ebook or a course or or let's say your time for programming, it's kind of hard for people to visualize, okay, what is my time worth? Is my time worth $25 an hour, or is it worth $125 an hour?
Right.
So I really, really like the dropshipping model. And honestly, after talking to you, I don't know if I'm just excited from talking to you, but I really think that for people wanting to start out, especially if they have more time than money, and they don't mind spending their time and uploading the products themselves and going through this process, that your course is a very, very kind of easy, straightforward way for people to say, okay, let me just start selling. If somebody wants to say, let me skip this entirely. I don't want to sell on eBay. I want to create my own store. I want to create my own brand. I want to sell more expensive products, less of them. If I want to, I don't want to sell a lot of small items. I want to sell a couple big, items like Anton.
Yep.
Anton suggests. Then I would say go with Anton's course. But I really think that there's a big market for both people, and there's really no reason why people can't be a part of both courses.
No, absolutely. I mean, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, 100%, Johnny. What you said about everyone should, learn dropshipping, whether it's my course or Anton's course. For all you listeners, here's my take on dropshipping. First of all, if you've never done dropshipping, get your hands dirty and try dropshipping. Doesn't matter what course it is. Because here's what I believe: if you're going to be, an entrepreneur or a business owner, having that skill set, right? Having that weapon in your arsenal is just a great thing to have, because whether you do the eBay course or Anton course, you're gonna learn the skills to do drop shipping, and you're gonna realize it just opens up so many more channels and so many more doors down the line for other business projects. Because now you understand the strategy and how things actually flow and how things get distributed. I mean, it's fascinating. Once you really understand the core concepts of how this works. I mean, I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm drop shipping, I'm buying something from Walmart, right? Half of the times, Walmart doesn't even ship it out themselves. So they're drop shipping it too. So the item's being drop shipped through two different levels and channels here, so everybody and their mom in the world is drop shipping. And why is Walmart drop shipping? Because it's just a smart business model, a smart way and very strategic and very interesting way to distribute products to the end customer that wants that product and make some nice margins in between for very, for pretty much no work. You're not handling the physical product. You're not going to the post office and shipping it out. It's just a great way to earn money, online, or in general, really. It's just fascinating. So for everyone listening, definitely get your hands dirty, get your feet wet, try some drop shipping model. That absolutely works, and it's a lot of fun too.
100%, I agree. So enough about drop shipping. If you guys want to do some online business, join David's course. The link's in the show notes, episode 82, or just go to earnestaffiliate.com/eBay. If you want to join Anton's course or what we've been talking about, it's antonmethod.com, also in the show notes. So before I let you go, I want to know a little bit about your lifestyle and your travel. What have you been doing now that you have all this online income coming in, and what are your plans?
Oh gosh, it really depends what day of the week it is. but I'm just a regular guy, man. Honestly, I'm 31, turning 32 this year, and just been very blessed. I have 3 dogs at home. I have a beautiful girlfriend. We've been together for a couple of years. We just like to have fun. We like to travel. We've been all over the world. Different countries, different places. But here in the States, I love being outdoors. So I'm just a regular guy. I go fishing pretty much 3, 4, sometimes 5 days a week. And I'll go fishing for 8, 10, 12, sometimes 15 hours a day. It sounds ridiculous, but I really love fishing. I like being out in the sun, working out, going on bike rides, and just kind of just living life on my terms, not having a boss. I always tell people I'm the best boss that I ever had. Like today is Friday. I told Johnny earlier, I've had 4 or 5 people been trying to get a hold of me for weeks So, I woke up extra early today and scheduled out, 4 Skype calls and meetings for about 3 hours. And after that, I'm giving myself a break for 9 hours to go fishing. So that's what my lifestyle looks like. I just go fishing and I go travel. And then, Johnny, I'll be visiting you in Thailand really soon, my friend.
Yeah, tell me about that. We briefly spoke about it before the call, but what are your plans with Thailand?
My goal with Thailand is I want to visit there. Not visit, actually want to live there. Starting in 2016, so I can capitalize on the tax benefits. So, want to live there for at least a year. But prior to that, I'm probably gonna make a trip out there for a few weeks, kind of scout the area and kind of check things out, and kind of find a home base first. But probably sometime in the next, we were planning, we might even go in about 2 or 3 weeks because I'm already planning a trip to go to Fiji and Samoa with 2 friends. So we even mentioned to them real quick, hey, how about flying to Thailand for a week or 2? So we I don't know, I might see you soon. If not, then maybe in a month or 2 I'll be out there and visiting, and then coming back out there, the beginning of 2016. So that's my goal.
Dude, 100%. Definitely come out to Chiang Mai. I think you'll love it here, and I think it'd be fun to hang out because it seems like a very cool guy. Like I'm looking forward just to even just being your friend because.
Is there water? Not water, but is there like an ocean or lake around Chiang Mai? I don't know. I don't know where like how far is Chiang Mai from like the nearest ocean or lake?
So the thing about Chiang Mai is it's a mountain town. So there's no ocean near here at all. But what I like about it is it's such a beautiful place to relax and do your work. And then what we have is these cheap airlines that fly direct to all the different islands, and they're short flights. They're like an hour flight. They're super cheap too, like round trip for $100. And all of a sudden you can be on a different white sand beach. You can go out in the ocean. You can fish for like marlin, these big sports fish.
Oh man, you're talking my language here, Johnny.
Yeah, and and it's cool because you're not tied down to one place. You can like literally go to a different island every month if you want. So, I'm not a big fisher, but I'll definitely check it out with you if you're out here. But I'm a big scuba diver, so I
love diving, Johnny. Yeah. Oh man, I love diving.
Oh man,
that's another thing.
Yeah, and there's some of the best diving, within an hour's flight around here. So that's why I'm based in Chiang Mai. Even though I do like the water, I'd rather live in a place like Chiang Mai where I can just chill out, and then when I want to take on a full vacation, or even going on like a liverboard where you're actually staying on the boat for a few nights, then I'll just fly out.
Really, really cool, man. Yeah, I'm going to be visiting you in Chiang Mai, man. That sounds really, really peaceful and fun.
Okay, well, definitely keep in touch. So what's your Instagram and social media again? So if someone wants to keep in touch and check you out.
Social media is Facebook again. Is just David Dang Dang, and my last name Vu. So you can search for me on there, and then on Instagram, I just started an Instagram. Finally jumped on the Instagram bandwagon. Just started about a month ago, and that's Freedom Entrepreneur.
Okay.
Freedom Entrepreneur on Instagram. Yep.
Sounds fantastic. I'll have links to all of that, as well as I'll put up some photos of you fishing in the show notes as well, just so people,
awesome.
People can see, put your face to it. It's going to be on episode 82, travellikeaBossPodcast.com. If you do end up signing up for David's course and you heard about it first through me, I would appreciate you giving me credit for it. Keeps the show going. And if you can do that at earnestaffiliate.com/eBay, or just click on the link in the show notes. David, thanks so much for being on the show, and I look forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks a lot, Johnny, for having me. It's been a pleasure, and have a great day, my man.
All right, see you, buddy.
Thank you for listening to the Travel Like a Boss podcast. If you want to hear more, including the bonus How to Choose the Perfect Niche episode, join our mailing list at travellikeabosspodcast.com. See you next week, and remember, if you want to travel like a boss, you need to be your own boss. So start your online business today and start living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of.